It's Bunny and welcome to Color Room. So today we are working on a pop manga, mermaids again, pop manga, mermaids and other sea creatures. And we're going to do this page here. And we're going to do the background in Crayolas. Okay. And I'm going to try to do this without any blending. Any blending mediums. So first color is going to be yellow green. Hope you can see that. Yellow green. So we're going to go in with a light touch. We're going to put in our color, and what we're going to do, instead of going dark into light, we're going to go, instead of going light into dark, no, wait, I said it right. So dark into light is going to be dark and light that way. So we're going to go lighter as we go away from our main image. But it is going to be outlined in our yellow green, which is basically a lime color. And this is just a quick demo. I'm not going to do the whole page. We're just going to do this top section here. Because if I did the whole page, it would take a long time to do. So now I'm going to decide how far out. And I want my green to go pretty far out because I'm only using 3 colors, but 2 of the colors are similar. So I'm going to go pretty far out. And we are just going to treat these crayons like we would treat color pencils, in that we're going to go light pressure and get our color down. We don't want to go heavy because then we're not going to be able to blend. We want to blend a little bit. So then my next color is going to be green yellow. And so here's the difference in those 2 colors. And I'm going to go into my yellow green. And blend out. And then my third color is just yellow. And the yellow is a little more vibrant than that yellow green. And that's going to be our lightest color. So as you can see, it's already given itself a nice gradient effect. So I got my green yellow now. I'm gonna go in with my yellow. And like I always say, it's a matter of just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth with light layers. Now, if these were pencils, I would go harder pressure where I know for sure that I want this color to be, but because they are crayons, it's just light layers because I am going to have to go into all of the colors with green, or with the with the yellow, once I'm happy with the gradient effect, and that's going to bring all the colors together. And see, when you do light layers, you'll be surprised at how many times you can go back and forth. We'll do as much as we can on camera. I might even just do the whole thing on camera and just do it in parts. And then either later on today or tomorrow, we'll work on the Chinese dragon out of Mythomorphia because I'm almost done with those scales. Now, you won't get this as smooth as you would if you were using color pencils, especially if you were like using Prismacolors. This will still remain to have some texture to it, but the texture won't look bad at all as long as you leave those layers light. So you don't want to press down on it. You don't want to do this, okay? You don't want that. You want to do this and then go over it and go over it and go over it until you get it to that color, if that's the color you're going for. So when you're using anything other than, well, I would say anything, but if you're using anything other than Prismacolors, luminescence, any pencil that lays down color quickly, if you're using harder colors, Crayolas, Crazy Arts, pencils like that, crayons like this, you want to use light layers and light pressure, and to get that same effect. So when people say, oh, you can't use those and get the same effect, you can't. You just have to have a whole lot more patience for the process, because now what would have took you a few hours may take you, say if this would take you normally an hour to do with Prismacolors, okay, add about 3 hours to that, or 2 hours or to that, and that's how long it's going to take. It's going to double your time at the very least. You see, my point is getting too sharp because now it's leaving that, and I don't want that. So I'm going to dull it a little bit. Okay. I don't want any harsh lines. Okay, so we got that area. So let's keep working where we were working. So now I have my green yellow. And I'm going to go into the yellow green a little bit. Every now and then I'm going to turn my crayon just to even out so it don't become completely lopsided. And the yellow green, well, this green yellow I should say, is very close to yellow, which is why it pretty much reads as one color, but I'm okay with that. Every now and then you want to stop, look at it, see how it's going. Make adjustments if you want to. Like I have a really big line right there that I don't want. So I'm going to go in with my green yellow real quick because I have a white space right here that I don't want. Let me get rid of that real quick. Okay, So now this line here is where the green, the yellow green and the green yellow is meeting. I don't want that line, so I'm gonna extend my yellow green up a little bit and get rid of that line. And you can do up and down, you can do circles, it doesn't matter. Now I'm going to go in, I'm going to change direction a little bit, because now what I'm really working on right now is getting rid of that line. I don't like that line. I want a smoother transition. But I think you all can see how that's coming out now. And I will burnish it at some point, but I'm not going to burnish the whole, burnish anything until I get the whole page done. And then we will go in and we'll probably burnish with the yellow. But I hope y'all can see how that is coming out. I'm just extending out. Move y'all down a little bit to the bottom of the page. Go into it and bring it out. You can just be a big kid with this, you know. Let me get a borrow sheet of paper from my other side so I don't go. I got notes on my paper if you see any writing. Okay, so that I don't go over into another page. So this is my yellow right against the edge here. I'm going to catch this edge here and put it in my edge along this way so I don't have to worry about it. Okay. Actually, let me get my yellow stand up a little bit. And I'm just eyeballing it. It doesn't have to be exact. It's just pleasing to the eye. Okay. So oh, excuse me. Hopefully y'all can see this. And I hope you can see the transition of the colors. It probably all reads fine, but it's a subtle transition. And we're doing the light, and another reason why we're doing the light layers is this is without any blending mediums. So no Gamsol, no baby oil, linseed oil, none of that. This is just going to be the crayons, and that's it. Now, if you wanted to make it smoother, then you could use those mediums and it would work. I want to extend this a little bit more. And it would work, but when we go in to burnish everything out, the yellow should make it so that it's all smooth and blended. We're going to make sure that our color reads well, so that when we do blend it with the yellow, it won't change the green because we have enough green down. So if this video cuts off, which it will probably do because I'm 23 minutes in and we've only done half the page. So when the video cuts off, I'm going to finish the page, but I will not burnish it out. I will come back and we will finish that step on camera. And move on from there. When we come back, I had promised to do the face with Crayolas in my last video, since I didn't show that whole process. So this will be a strictly Crayola page basically. And there's spots on her face that I have no idea where that came from, but since we're making her a brown skinned girl anyway, it should be able to cover up, because I have that spot here too. I have no clue what it is. I should have got me a little makeup brush to brush off dust and stuff, but I didn't get it. You know. Okay, so now I'm going to take my green yellow, going into the previous color. When we get done and we burnish this out, you're gonna see this, like, hopefully it comes out the way it is in my head. You're gonna see this nicely blended, smooth transition of color. And you can do this with colored pencil, but look at this. See that? It doesn't move. And sometimes when you're doing the background, you don't want to worry about placing a piece of paper to make sure that you don't smudge the color. And since this is crayon, regular crayons, it doesn't smudge easily. Plus, it is a little bit faster. Like if I was using Prismacolors, I would actually move slower. Because I would be concerned about pressing too hard and worrying about it smudging. Whereas this, I'm not worried about it smudging whatsoever. And then you get to save your pencils on top of that, because a box of Crayolas is about, 50, 75 cents. So it's easily replaceable. As opposed to using up all your pencils and having to get replacement pencils. So if I use these up, really it's just a matter of going to any store and just buying a box of crayons. So you have that cost saving factor into doing this as well. And that's basically, these are the three colors we're going to use for the whole background. And I like the way it's looking. Make sure I don't miss any blank spots because I'm notorious for that. I think this here is a spot. And you do want to be careful about a little bit about going over the line into your actual image, because since this is wax, it's going to not be easy to color over with your pencils, or at least I don't think it would be easy. I've never tried it, so maybe that's something I need to experiment with, but I would think that it would be hard to cover over easily with, let's say that. Now I can go ahead and put my regular pressure in here, or harder pressure in here, even though I'm not pressing that hard. And I'm going to go ahead and do my final color right here, because nothing's going to blend in that anyway. So it's like a medium pressure, but it's going back and forth. And that's the color. That's the color we're going to end up with. So what I'm doing is I'm just making sure I pull the bottom of the crayon every now and then, because it gets little, sometimes the little wax things can stick on the bottom and get into your picture, your image. So that's going to be our final color right there for the green part, for our lime. Can you see that? Or did I do all that off camera? Well, this here, that's our final result of that color. I might have did all that off camera. I jump around a lot, but what I was doing was making sure I got my spots that are closed in, because I forget those a lot, and then I'll have to go back in, which is not a big deal, but might as well do it while I can. Our weather has warmed up a little bit. And so we were down in the 30s, 20s at night, 30s for the highs in the day. And we've been in the 60s the last couple of days. Supposed to hit maybe 70 tomorrow, but with rain, but I'm alright with that. I'd rather have 70 and rain than 30 and cold. 30 cold and dry. Sunshine and it's 30 degrees. Nope. I'll take the 70-degree rainy weather. Even though I'm not going to complain too much because it's February, which means that my area winter season is almost over. It'll be cold in March, but it'll start also warming up in March. And then April is a crapshoot. It may be still cold, or it may just straight jump into summer. Okay, so, oh, 37. We make good time. I thought maybe I would only be able to get half of the page in, and we are kind of only half of the page in, but I was able to show y'all most of it. And I know on camera it don't always show true to how it looks. So in person you're going to still see lines, like I still see this line here. You're still going to see texture. Don't worry about it. Just get your color on your page the way that you want it, and to remember to work in those light layers. And then when your color is all laid down the way that you want it to lay, looking how you want it to look, when you come back to burnish it all out and blend it all out, that's going to smooth down most of your texture and get rid of most of your lines. Okay, so don't worry too much about how it looks yet. So the key to this whole thing is layers and light pressure. That is what you need to keep in mind. So before this cuts off, because I don't know, we getting close to when it starts to make up its own mind as to when it's going to cut itself off. So what I'm going to do is, if it begins to cut off, I'm going to keep going over each section with its own color. The green, I'm going to especially keep going over the green part, this color here, until I get it to this color right here. I didn't realize I wasn't in frame. I'm sorry. I want to keep going until I get it this color here. So all this green until I get it that color. I'm going to keep using this and adding layers. Okay. And I'm going to go back and forth with my colors until especially this color is that color, right? And then I will come back and we will blend and smooth everything else out. Okay, so that is what I'm going to do once this video cuts out. I'm just going to keep doing what I was doing, making my layers, deepening my colors, And the color I want, especially for their inside, is this darker lime green. That is the color. That's my gold color, because it won't get any deeper than this color here. I could add shadow in it and go in with a green color, with a regular green. I haven't decided whether or not I'm going to do that. So if I decide to do that, when I come back, we'll do that. I won't make that decision till I come back on camera. Okay. I'm gonna take my green yellow. And it really doesn't matter how far in you go with your lighter colors, because this is crayon, so it's not going to change that color too much. And that will help you to not have such a strong line as when I was over here. And that line really only came because I was only going to do this section and then blend it out and show you the complete thing. But then I really thought about how that would be extra work on me to blend that section out with the rest of the page. So that's why I've decided to just go ahead and show you all the whole page and just come back and show you how to blend out the textures and things afterwards. And I'm just going over the page in any kind of way. I'm trying to make sure I don't smudge my other page, because I do have a work in progress on the opposite page. Which I think some of it has smudged on my page. Now that I'm laying down my color, I can see that there's some splotches. I went on screen on stream on Sky Stream, Dream in Color, and while we were in chat, I asked if anyone had used spray paint to seal their pages. And May said she has. Maybox said she had. So I'm gonna try that. And I may go ahead and just finish the opposite page in which I think is Prismacolors. It might not be. It might be Crazy Arts, which is why it probably is Crazy Arts. Yeah, it's Crazy Arts. And finish that, so I'll spray both of these because they'll both be done. And see how that works out. I'll get my